Hello and welcome to another episode of the Geek Pull Podcast. I'm your host, one of them, Jonathan Matlock.
And I'm Dax Matlock.
And together we're the dynamic duo, bringing you the latest comic book news.
For the dynamic duo, who's I'm assuming you're Batman and I'm Robin.
Well, I mean, come on, we got to go by age here, so
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And in theory, Robin, you're more of a Batman, so I guess it makes sense.
It does. I'm dark and brooding.
I'll put on the underwear of the Boy Wonder. So
yes, I've actually seen you in a Robin outfit. You fit it quite well. Of course, that was many years ago.
Many years ago, but maybe it's time for a rebirth.
Yeah. So if you're listening to us and if you're joining us first time, we are also broadcasting this on YouTube, youtube.com/geekpull. And I was just noticing Dax's lovely background he looks like he's got a Wonder Woman poster there, and I see Wonder Woman actually swinging from a clock, it looks like.
Yeah, I have a Wonder Woman little pendulum clock. I have a whole Wonder Woman shrine up next to my bed.
I like that.
Yeah, so the Wonder Woman clock's pretty sweet. Ticks very loud. You might be able to hear it in the recording. I don't know, but and then I've got good old Linda Carter.
Nice.
To stare up while I fall asleep. It's a good little setup.
And have wonderful dreams.
Wonderful.
Speaking of Wonder Woman, there's word out that there's a new trailer that might be released, either tied with Doctor Strange or Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So,
seems like it would make more sense if it was Fantastic Beast.
Being a Warner Brothers film, yes, but
and
you also pick up the comic book fan crowd with Doctor Strange. So we could, either way, within this month, we could be seeing a new Wonder Woman trailer, which feels still early, but we still got time. I guess we got a ways to go yet, but this will be trailer number 2, technically, I think. We had the teaser that came out of Comic-Con. So, yeah.
Yep.
Did you go to the comic book store this week?
I did go to the comic book store this week. It was nothing much. I picked up Flash 9, Wonder Woman 9, Titans 4, and then Raven number 2.
So you picked up Flash. I recall you dropping Flash at one point.
I did, but they haven't necessarily ended the storyline, I don't think, that they've been going through. So, and the Flash number 9 cover, let me pull it up really quick. It was a really cool cover.
Cover purchase. Makes sense.
Yeah, so because you got like a really, and he's like sitting next to this fountain with looks like Jake Garrick Flash. He's just eating a sandwich in his costume in a park, and I was like, that's a really cool cover. The other cover was pretty cool too. I remember I remember this week being a hard week deciding which covers to get for Titans and Wonder Woman and the Flash, because they were all really cool.
I'll have to say, historically, Flash covers, I feel like, have been I've always found the most interesting.
I think it's because he's got so much you can do with the cover, because he's just kind of fun. He's a fun character, but he can also be serious, and his villains are interesting too. So they're always really cool for whatever reason.
Yeah, like I remember back in the 80s when my older brother, your father, he used to receive the Flash by mail.
Oh, cool.
So I remember when he would pick those up, and the Flash covers on them. It was the trial of the Flash and everything. But I just remember the covers on those being really cool. And ever since. I just every now and then. I mean, he's just so pivotal and he's got a lot of emotional covers. I feel like too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I really want to know. I have no clue where those issues are, the Flash trials. So
he's kind of.
I don't even know if he recalls having that storyline either. So
well, I know he's got him, but the Flash is kind of the most human of the Justice League characters. Batman
I feel like
doesn't have superpowers, but he's got.
He's still an outsider.
He thinks he's all that, right?
Yeah.
Flash has a little more humility. He just runs fast.
Yeah.
His stakes and when he does run can be quite big. So I feel like he's got a bigger emotional human center to him than some of the other characters.
He's very easy to connect to because a lot of his issues and stuff go into like just really good parts of his his character makeup and personality and life things. So that's why I've always enjoyed him. I don't know. The story seems to be getting better. I'm not like totally caught up on it, but I'm getting more and more into it. So we'll see. I still have a couple weeks behind. So.
Well, I didn't go to the comic book store today or this week. I am planning on going today, hopefully, if everything works out right. Unfortunately, I'm planning on cutting more than I am picking up. I did decide. I was kind of looking at my budget for the month, and I was estimating I'm on track right now with all the new titles that have come out. I'm on track right now to be spending about $100 a month on comics. And
I'm spending about 80.
That's hard for me to do. So I've decided I am going to cut Nightwing. I'm going to cut Action Comics, although I enjoy Action Comics. I think I like the Superman title more, so I'm going to stick with that. Batgirl.
Yeah.
She's going to get cut. Teen Titans, I'm probably going to cut that, even though I've only have one issue started on that already. Justice League is on my cutting board. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad's on my cutting board. The new Superman, which I've really enjoyed, I'm going to cut that one, but I'm going to wait till the story's complete. So that's going to leave me with Batman, Superman, Trinity, Superwoman, but Superwoman might actually be on my cut list after this story wraps up too. Hal Jordan and Green Lanterns, Scooby-Doo, of all titles, Titans, The Dark Knight Returns, number 3, Dark Knight Returns 3. Once that should wrap up next spring, so it'll open up some space. The Death of Hawkman, which is a miniseries I just picked up, and I want to keep reading that. And then on the Image Comics publishing side, Paper Girls, Kill or Be Killed, and Snot Girl is what I'm keeping.
Yeah, I need to start getting into some of the independent stuff because all I'm reading are superheroes right now, and that's fun, but getting into some other
there's
stories.
Good stuff out there.
I might start picking up the trades of Paper Girl because there's a volume 1 already,
volume
right?
1's out already, and I'm guessing not too much longer they're going to wrap up the next set, and then they'll do volume 2. I would recommend. I've been having fun with that one. Kill or Be Killed, I haven't actually started that one, reading that one yet, so I'm 3 issues deep on that. Snot Girl, I really enjoyed that. It's totally fun if you're familiar with Brian Lee O'Malley. He did the Scott Pilgrim series. It's totally like this. She's a fashion blogger, Instagrammer, blogger person. So just kind of a cool take. But then there's this mystery that's come up. So it's just I love the way it's written. He does the writing. The girl's name slips me of who does the artwork, but it's great. So yeah, when I go in the comic book store, I'll be cutting more than I will be pulling this week.
Yeah, I've been looking at different comics, and one that keep like on the independent side of things, one that keeps sticking out to me. I think it's because of the name. It's called Bitch Planet.
Yep, I've seen that. It's got great covers too. The covers are pretty awesome.
The covers are very intriguing. Yeah, and so like, and the plot is kind of like, it seems kind of interesting. So I think it could be, yeah, but we'll see what happens. Every time I see it, I'm like, I should totally pick that up, but then I never do. Maybe if I start making some more cuts to other things, then it's hard to cut stuff out though.
It's hard. Super hard.
That's a difficult thing.
And you got to cut at the right time. You don't want to cut halfway through a story.
And it's like, it's hard, but it's also hard to like figure out when a story is over.
Right. And sometimes once a story's over, a really good story begins, an even better story. So like, that's why I'm like hesitant about cutting Justice League or probably mostly Justice League, is because it's like, well, something big is going to happen at some point in Justice League. But I just felt like the first 6 issues were just not as interesting for me. So it's on the cutting board. So anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't know if you can hear in the background, my son Jude, he's walking around. He's got a little birthday card and it opens up and it sings a song. But speaking of which, this leads into our next segment. He loves the Superman John Williams theme. Like, he requests that it gets played, and he'll play it over and over. He's 19 months old, just to give you an idea. And when he listens to it, he goes whoosh, and runs around the room with his hands in the air.
That's honestly
excited.
You're raising that kid well. You're doing a great job.
So, which made me start thinking about just superhero themes in general and how great they are, and also how some superhero movies have really missed opportunities for some really great themes. So I was thinking about what are some of the best superhero themes out there. And so I came up with a list of my top 5, along with some that didn't make my cut. I know you've got a few you can add in there. We may have some of the same. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some of the same.
My guess is it's the same.
Okay, well, here, I'll go through my list since I got 5, and you chime in if one of them's on your list, or just wait till the end.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. So I'm going to start from the bottom.
Okay.
Bottom of my 5. Well, first I'll talk about what didn't make the cut. The Rocketeer by James Horner. It was a 1999 movie. It had a really great, James Horner is just a good composer, but it's very much a 80s field vibe to it, even though it was in 91. Yeah. But anyway, it was a great theme. So I really enjoyed that. But it didn't make my cut of the top 5. Also, that didn't make my cut was Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, which was a cartoon movie.
Okay.
Back in 1993. That was a good soundtrack, so I give it a lot of credit, but it did not make my top 5. So here's my top 5, but here's the bottom of my top 5. So actually, I had a problem with my number 5. It's a little conflicting because this is technically not. And I'm mostly focused on themes, not just individual scores, parts of the movie. Because you have some movies that have, this. I'm talking about like the main theme for the character. That's what I kind of focused on. So my number 5, it's a kind of, there's a tie here. So Man of Steel with Hans Zimmer. Okay. And probably more specifically the theme that I pulled out of it, since there's not like a main title sequence for that, was the flight track, where he's learning to fly. That's to me when the Superman theme comes out. So, but what edges that one out just a little more and tied with the fifth spot, but because I wasn't sure if it should count, is the Wonder Woman theme from Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL from Batman versus Superman. I was just listening to that again, thinking that was it caught, and it'll be interesting to see if they use that in the Wonder Woman movie or if they adapt it in any way. I know they've played it with the trailer, but I wonder if it'll be utilized in the movie, because it was very catchy.
Yeah, and it's very classic Wonder Woman. But we can get into that once we talk more. So yeah,
okay. Keep going. So my next on my list was Spider-Man by Danny Elfman, the 2002 Spider-Man theme.
Oh, that totally slipped my mind when I was making my list. Oh, that's a good one.
It's a good one, and a lot of my top ones, I'm realizing the reason that these movies have such great themes is because they have such great opening sequences, title credits for the movies. So pretty much if your superhero movie did not have an opening title sequence, it didn't make my list at all, because that's usually, I think, where the great themes come out in. So anyway, Spider-Man, that had a great opening sequence with the webbing and all that coming through. So props to Danny Elfman. Hope you like Danny Elfman, because my number 3 pick is the theme for Dick Tracy. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Dick Tracy. 1990, Danny Elfman again. I had that soundtrack when I was a kid. I loved the Dick Tracy soundtrack, the theme for it. It was very awesome. It was a little reminiscent of the Batman theme that Danny Elfman did. But it was cool. And that was one of the earlier, straight up comic book movies too. So that's my number 3 pick.
Yeah, that's a pretty good list.
Yeah. So here's my number 2. Deciding on number 2 and number 1 was very hard. Okay. So my number 2 pick, I wasn't. This was hard for me because this is, in a lot of ways, this is my favorite superhero theme. It totally played up my young adult life, but and I'm even thinking about switching it over to number 1 right now, but I can't. So my number 2 pick, and number 1 and number 2 are just so close, but number 2 is the Batman theme by Danny Elfman.
Yeah, that's
the
a good one.
89 pick. To me, he defined Batman and the future of Batman just in that theme and that score, the mood that was set, which I think that also influenced that Batman Mask of the Phantasm. And, pretty much most, the Batman animated series was all, flowed out of that. So that theme, I think, is super great, and it's just, you hear it and you're just like, Batman. So it's it's great. Nothing that I feel like was done in Batman versus Superman said Batman. This defined Batman, I feel like. So my number 1, obviously, is got to be John Williams' Superman theme score. It's just, it's John Williams. He's a genius, but man, you hear that and you just think Superman. You feel Superman running and jumping up in the air and flying off, and so it's got such an upbeat, and it's so beautiful. The highs and lows of it. It's a great theme. It's like a well-packed theme. So, so that's my number 1 list is John. And I've also been listening to it an awful lot lately. So it's
Yeah,
it's got a new place for me.
It's such a good one. All right, that's a pretty good list.
So let's hear yours.
All right, I'll give you mine. I'll give you mine real quick. Let's see, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3. So my number 5 slot goes to Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL for the Lex Luthor.
Oh yeah.
Theme.
Yeah, that was one of the good themes of Batman versus Superman. Yeah.
Batman versus Superman had a lot of good themes because, you got Superman's great and the Wonder Woman, obviously. But like that Lex Luthor, it just characterized who Lex is so well. It's just really cool. And the entire time that played, I was like, okay, like this is like, it made you feel the evil and power of Lex Luthor. It was just really cool. Having all the classical instruments
thing, you felt like this evil scientist in a layer kind of vibe to Lex Luthor.
Yeah, and that's what he was doing. So I think that was really well done. Honestly, probably my favorite from that movie was the so my number 4 slot is the entire Scott Pilgrim soundtrack. It's just really cool. It's really punky. There's like some original songs in there that are like, I think they're pretty cool. Just really dirty and grungy. I wouldn't say like in terms of cinematic scoring and themes, not the greatest, but the album itself, I think, is just really good. I listen to it frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So therefore it gets my number 4 spot. My number 3 is the Batman animated series theme.
That's good.
Yeah, Danny Elfman did that too, right? Pretty sure he did.
Because they used the Batman theme. I don't know if they redid it in any way slightly, but yeah, it was pretty much the Danny Elfman theme. So
yeah, it's yeah, I can't find any information on the actual theme itself, but the theme. Oh yeah, I think it just uses that theme from the Tim Burton movies. So, but that's really good. Just hearing like the so awesome, really cool. Gets you into the Batman mood. Really just captures the detective-y work that he does. So I would say that. My number 1 and 2, I had to struggle with.
Danny Elfman was the composer of the animated series.
So. Okay, cool. I figured he was. It was really tough for me to decide. Like the reason number 1 popped into my number 1 is because it was the first thing that came into my mind when I started thinking of the list. So that's why it's my number 1. But number 2, I have such strong feelings towards. And it's number 2 is the Wonder Woman TV theme.
So you okay? So I was thinking movie scores. You went TV. So and that's okay.
I had to break the rules on this one because I mean, the Wonder Woman TV series, they're all like an hour and a half long, so it's basically like watching a bunch of movies. So, I'm justifying that because I think it's a very powerful theme. Hans Zimmer as inspiration for the Wonder Woman theme in Batman versus Superman. So, and I just can't get it out of my head. The da 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 da. It's just very classic, super 70s, just very good TV theme. But I mean that one was probably my favorite. But my number 1 has to go to John Williams' Superman.
Yeah.
That song, you don't feel more powerful listening to any other song than you do that. Like you feel like you could conquer the world when that's on. And I own the soundtrack on vinyl. And it's like listening to it, it's just like I just get so hyped whenever I hear that. And I whistle it all the time, so I just figure That's got to be number one. It's one of the best movie themes. I don't think it could be topped, really. It's just so iconic.
It's so great. Yeah, to me, the Batman theme by Danny Elfman comes the closest to it.
Yeah.
And it's just not an uplifting theme. So it has a different emotional connection, I feel like, for most people. So I think Danny Elfman and John Williams, I feel like, are the best hero theme composers out there. Hans Zimmer, I give him credit for some of the things he's done. I feel like all his themes, though, are never just like complete themed, packaged kind of things, and I think that's due to there not being a title sequence that he's doing. Nothing that has a Hans Zimmer. The movies he does, he doesn't really have a title sequence he's composing for. So he doesn't have a beginning, middle, and end just in one song. It's having to play throughout a scene, the stuff that he's doing.
Yeah, because Hans Zimmer, he's done a great job. He's totally fit the mood of whatever, all the themes that he has made. But like, it really is, that is such a true statement, though. The most memorable themes are during the title sequences when it comes to hero movies, because like even like just like those weird obscure kind of, like I'm thinking like Beetlejuice, that opening sequence is very iconic in that score. And Nightmare Before Christmas, they're like,
you can't tell we have a thing for Danny Elfman. Yeah,
Danny Elfman, I love you. If you're listening, you probably are. So, but Danny Elfman's kind of killing the game. But then John Williams, there's no topping John Williams.
He is a master. So it makes me sad though, because like I feel like I'm sure there's talented people out there. There's just, why aren't these directors putting in titles? Why are we cutting out the title sequences?
Because Americans don't have the attention span anymore for it.
So terrible.
We get bored. Yeah.
That shouldn't be the case, though. We should be able to sit down and watching the Superman title sequences with just the words flying in with that music behind them. It just creates the whole mood. It's like the opening, the orchestra before a play starts. You got to have all that to set the mood of the movie. A lot of filmmakers now like to dive right in, kind of creating this real world feel to their film, and it's like, no, I
want something very classic. Yeah, I want something very classic. Like I think probably Spider-Man was the last one to like really do a good job.
Yeah, I know. When I was reviewing some scores, the X-Men movie, they had an opening sequence, and that one was on my short list for, not my short list, but that was on a list. I was like, I remember the X-Men theme music a little bit, and so that I re-explored that, but ultimately decided it wasn't my favorite. But they had an opening sequence. That's probably why I remember it. But I mean, there's been some great composers attached to Alan Silvestri. Was on the first Avengers movie, but I don't remember his stuff. Again, no.
Yeah, it's just crazy that there aren't that many well-known composers anymore. Because like I couldn't even tell you the Avengers guys. I couldn't tell you anything else he's done. I couldn't have even picked his name out as the guy who.
Yeah, I mean, if you played the Avengers, if you played any of the Avengers music for me right now, I wouldn't be able to go, "Oh yeah, that was from the Avengers." I feel like the music is so disjointed, and people often say you got the Marvel universe, movie universe, cinematic universe, and so all this music ties into it. The music doesn't tie any of the films together. Where you have like the Star Wars universe, the music is what ties those films together. Even now, you got the Rogue One movie, which is a totally separate movie from the saga films. But what ties it back to the Star Wars film universe? It's those themes that were created by John Williams. So yeah, I feel like studios or filmmakers are cutting the music theme short. To me, it's very much a character of the movies or TV shows. And speaking of TV shows, I'm glad you put TV shows on your list, because I feel like Netflix, I know you haven't watched any of them yet, the Netflix Marvel shows, they have some killer title sequence introductions. And so they create, you're hearing this music, this theme music, and it's actually pretty good. So like the Daredevil opening sequence with the music is great. So, they're doing it on TV. It's like, come on, let's do it in the movies. Let's create some cinematic feel vibe to this.
TV has always kind of had the upper hand on themes, I feel, though. Like, because it's something that you watch once a week.
Once a week. You're hearing it often, so yeah.
You're hearing it often, and like it's a good 2 minutes of your viewing time sometimes. So it's like that, because every show has a title sequence. There's none that just do it over the film. There's everyone starts out with something. So it's TV kind of has the advantage.
But even TV shows,
I could name more TV themes than I could musical, like cinematic scores, I think.
Right.
And themes, superhero wise.
Even TV shows, especially on the network channels, they seem to have shortened up and not have introduction kind of title sequences. So, but with Netflix and things like that, that's changing.
I guess I've also been watching slightly older shows.
Yeah.
When I do watch Netflix, so it's.
Yeah, I feel like somewhere in the mid 2000s, like 2005, 2006, shows started to not stop having some of their introductions, their title introductions and stuff like that. Like even sitcoms used to all have musical introductions, and now I don't feel like they have that anymore. Like Friends is the last musical introduction. I can feel like that was a big. Like Seinfeld, they were kind of one of the ones that started to not do that, although they had very recognizable music with their popping sounds. Right. But that's all they had.
Yeah.
But then you had Friends, which had a whole theme song intro. But then that kind of, so I feel like shows started kind of getting away from that. But I feel like Netflix has kind of changed some of the streaming services. So, well, good lists.
Yeah. So
yeah, the Wonder Woman theme. I never thought about how the Wonder Woman theme of Hans Zimmer's Wonder Woman theme took from the TV show Wonder Woman.
Really?
I'm totally. Yeah, I never picked that up.
Yeah, it totally has the same feel, same sound almost.
It's got that driving.
It just sounds like very psychedelic, and yeah, it's very, very similar, in my opinion. I don't really know, but yeah, there's definitely influence.
Yeah, there's a similar drive to those themes with the listening to them back to back. Yeah, I'll be curious to see what they actually use for the film. I hope they have an introductory title intro. So if you're listening, Patty Jenkins, please do it. You got time. That would be awesome.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna have to add something to my list. Totally just popped into my head. Barbarella, the Barbarella theme. Super, like not the most, whatever, but like the theme for Barbarella, like it's currently on my fall playlist that I listen to.
Interesting.
It is so good, and I'm a film major, and so I'm working on for next fall, I'm going to be making like my first kind of feature with a full crew, full cast kind of film. And I'm working on doing research, and I'm trying to put together like a very campy kind of sci-fi film. And I'm going to try and write a whole score that just has that classic, very inspired by Barbarella's music, because I think it's great. So it's going to be a fun project to work on. But yeah, so I would say Barbarella is one of my top.
So where do you put that on your existing list?
Let's see. I'll bump off Scott Pilgrim, because I don't really think, because it's not so much like the theme of it, because I couldn't tell you what the theme of that movie is, but they're just like songs from it that I like.
Right. It's a soundtrack.
Yeah, because it's like a music. It's like kind of a long music video is what that movie is in a sense. I'm gonna take off Scott Pilgrim and slide in Barbarella.
Okay.
Which I think was my number 4. So, yeah.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah. It's on Netflix.
Yeah. Okay. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was making my list, I was thinking, oh man, I got too many Danny Elfman theme songs on my list.
I mean, he's a king. He's a king. Part of me wanted to throw in like Indiana Jones, because I was just thinking movie scores in general, but I was like, oh, it's not really like superhero / comic book.
Right. You could have justified it because they did have an Indiana Jones comic book, but that was a movie-based comic book. So
yeah, I think I have the Temple of Doom comic book.
Yeah.
Lying around my room that I think I probably stole from the attic.
Yeah. Your dad.
It was probably yours.
Actually, those are probably mine.
Yeah, it's probably yours.
I want my comic book back. Yeah. Oh, speaking of, it's too far. Otherwise, I'd get it. One of my toys that I saved from my attic was a Indiana Jones action figure. So,
oh, cool.
I actually had 2 of them. One is the from Raiders of the Lost Ark, when he steals the one Nazi's outfit and he puts it on before he gets on the boat.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's a cool action figure. So yeah,
that's pretty sweet.
No new toys. I'm waiting for my Legion of Collectors box to arrive.
Same.
Oh, did you get the Legion of Collectors survey that they sent out?
I did. See
that? Did you take the survey?
I did.
Good. I took the survey too. I think I gave him pretty high marks on a lot of things, pretty positive about my experiences and stuff like that, except for the t-shirt. I did comment a lot on the t-shirt cut.
Oh, that's good. Oh, I forgot to comment on the t-shirt. I should have done that. So then there are at least 2 coming from both Matlocks. That'd be kind of funny. But
I hope they get more t-shirt feedback, because I'd love to keep receiving their box, but the only way I can do that is if I get good t-shirts. So
yeah, and if I put that, I wish that there were a couple more items within the box.
I think I said I expected 3 to 4 items or something like that.
I think I did 4 to 6, because I was like, I want, it'd be fun to have like just a couple extra like little knick-knack kind of things. But then like they had a question that was like, would you like coffee mugs? And I was like, yeah, those sound like it'd be kind of cool to get like an exclusive nerdy coffee mug, unless it was like in the Funko Pop style, then I wouldn't like that. But if it were like just like cool superhero stuff, I was like, yeah, I drink coffee, so I'll do that.
Yeah, I said I would be open to occasional other types of apparel, even though I probably would never actually use it outside of the house. But I said yes to the coffee mug glassware kind of question. I said I would like to have more adorbs, because
I said no on the adorbs.
No on the adorbs. Oh, I love adorbs.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a fan of them. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't had one that's. strike my fancy yet.
They're so adorable. In fact, that's what I've kind of just been disappointed ever since I signed up, because I signed up after the TV show box set, but the TV show and the Batman versus Superman were the first two boxes, and they both had adorbs in it. So then every box since hasn't had an adorb. I'm like, they've had those little tiny action figures. They're micro Wonder Woman with the invisible jet, which is above my head.
So good.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see what we'll get for the next. It's the Batman villains theme, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. I wish I'd gotten that TV show box set.
Yeah, you can still order it, I think, separately as a subscriber. So
yeah, that's true. Because I really want that Jay Garrick pop.
Yeah, I just finished the Flash season 2, so that Jay Garrick pop became more interesting to me. I guess I won't say anything because I'd be spoiling it for you.
Yeah,
but you'll probably never watch it anyway.
No, I will. I just have to. I'm currently trekking through Gilmore Girls right now, so I have to finish that up first.
Important things. Are they coming out with a new Gilmore Girls series?
Oh yeah. Over Thanksgiving week, it's a 4-part. It's going to be awesome.
I never watched. Because
what happened
Gilmore
was,
Girls.
So Gilmore Girls, I'm kind of like really way too into it. Gilmore Girls culture. I don't know if people are aware of that, but it's kind of huge, and it's like really big amongst my generation, like, but on like a very low key sense. But yeah, so what happened was on the seventh and final season on TV, the head writer and creator or whatever, they had like creative differences, and so she got fired, and then her husband started taking over, and so like the 7th season like isn't like really where it wanted to end, and so now she's getting to do this Netflix reboot, so it'll actually end intended. So it'll be very exciting to see. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Good deal.
So, yeah.
So
I got to get through that before I can start nerding out.
Right. Yeah, so I start things that I'm watching to prepare for things that are coming out this fall. I started watching A New Hope the other day to get ready for Rogue One, because I just kind of want to refresh what immediately happened at the beginning of New Hope. And in watching that, I got very excited for Rogue One. Speaking of movies coming out, last week when our podcast, we actually didn't post our last episode of podcast because it was staticky, so we decided not to post it. But the video of it is still available on YouTube though, so if you are interested in listening through the static, it's probably easier to watch us talk through the static than it is to listen through the static.
Yeah, so it's still completely audible. It's just frustrating. It'd be frustrating to listen to.
Right.
But if you want to watch it, it wouldn't be bad.
Right. So that's on that is on YouTube. But just to recap some of what we talked about last week, since we didn't get to talk about it on the podcast itself, if you're listening on iTunes or whatever, the Logan trailer came out that week. Any more thoughts on that, really since you've watched it now a couple times?
I'm just getting more and more excited. I think I've watched it 2 more times since then, and they used Johnny Cash's "Hurt," which is just perfect for line, and definitely the trailer itself was just a really solid pick because you just see Wolverine, and like the Johnny Cash's character in "Hurt" is very, very similar to what Logan is all about. So very good. The action sequences look amazing. It looks very different than any other superhero movie we've seen. Very very dark in a very different sense than like DC Universe is dark. It just feels raw and real. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Film vibe.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. We also saw the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy came out. A little teaser for that. That was fun. That was exciting. Ready to jump back into that world.
We talked in it. They have Baby Groot, which is pretty cute, pretty adorable. And last week we had briefly talked about like how long can they keep Groot as a baby, because you're missing out on the full power that is Groot. And as a young tree person, he can't really fully fledge out his powers. But I actually had that conversation was brought up with my roommate, actually, like shortly after we recorded. He was like watching it and he's like, okay, but like how long, like Baby Groot's cute and all, but like how long can they keep him as a baby? Because like it's really cool. I was like, that's funny because I just talked about that with my uncle. So so I think it must be a common question.
I wouldn't be surprised if somehow they started the movie with him as baby Groot, and they use that in a lot of the trailer teaser stuff, but then some point in the movie he's grows up. Maybe he gets a bag of fertilizer dumped on him or something, or Miracle Grow, and he grows fast. I don't know.
Yes, that's so funny.
Yeah. Somehow he's got to grow up fast.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see.
Looking forward to that for sure. The trailer, classic.
Yeah. Just this week, it was announced that the Deadpool 2 movie lost its director. Tim Miller, who directed the first Deadpool, who I think is probably the most responsible for the visual look of the movie. He was the mastermind behind the effects and everything. He's the one that did the test footage that was originally leaked to get the movie made to begin with. I guess he's departed based on creative differences, specifically with Ryan Reynolds. They are directorless now, although I've heard rumors that the director from the John Wick movie might be coming in to do Deadpool 2. Some of the rumors of why there was creative differences, which I don't quite believe any of these yet. Some of it was due to casting of Cable. There was some disagreements on that. So that's one potential reason. The other rumor that's getting flown around a lot, and I just don't know whether to believe these things or not, but the rumor is Tim Miller wanted to spend a lot more money on the sequel, and Ryan Reynolds wanted to keep it a cheap and scrappy kind of movie.
That makes more sense.
So, and to Tim Miller's defense, if that is the case, it's like he's a visual effects guy. That's kind of his background. So I bet he probably put a lot of blood and sweat and tears into that first Deadpool movie. So he kind of knows what it takes to actually do things really well. And so for him, that's where his heartbeat is, right? So anyway. So that's kind of sad news, because I thought that movie was really well put together. And so I give a lot of that credit to the director, along with the script writers, but I feel like the director is the one who kind of puts it all together. So
yeah, he makes it worth. It's the director's vision that ultimately comes out.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. So that was unfortunate to hear, but hopefully good things will come out of it. I really hope like somebody at Warner Brothers says, "Hey, Tim Miller, come over and make a Green Lantern movie."
Yeah.
He'd be good for
That'd be cool.
Right?
Yeah. Well, Green Lantern movie is supposed to come out in 2020, right?
Right.
So they've got to get they don't have to get the ball rolling on that yet because they have a lot of movies coming out that they haven't even started filming for.
It's only three years away, pretty much.
That's crazy. That's insane.
So yeah, pre-production will probably start on a Green Lantern movie probably in 2018. So that's only almost a year away now. So it's not.
That's crazy.
Things are coming up pretty quick.
They have a direct. They like just. There's an article talking about how for the Justice League Dark.
Oh, right.
The director aims to fundamentally reinvent superhero movies. So,
it's a pretty big statement. But
yeah,
those are some interesting characters to be working with. If you don't know Justice League Dark, that's going to be like Constantine, Swamp Thing, Zatanna, Deadman. Who else is in there? I think there's a couple other characters in there.
Yeah, but those are the mains.
Yeah, so I think they're going to call it Dark Universe. So if Doctor Strange is in production already, I think it's in pre-production as far as them figuring things out and writing a script. They're using a script like Guillermo del Toro, but the Doctor Strange movie is successful box office wise. I'm sure Dark Universe is kind of get put on the fast track. So because I feel like Dark Universe would be equivalent to a Doctor Strange as far as the mystical goes.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange next week.
That's crazy. That snuck up.
Yep.
I've got to figure out how I'm going to watch that. So.
Well, I hear it's going to be shown at a movie theater, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that they'll sell tickets for that.
So
yeah,
what a great concept.
Yeah,
that's pretty easy.
You don't have to find it illegally online or anything like that, or download it. Go to some shady black market.
I don't do that. Not for superhero movies.
Right. I've got free tickets that I'm still using.
Oh, right.
So originally I got
that's so funny.
How did that sequence work? I got some free tickets after I went to see Batman versus Superman. And then we used those free tickets. I used those free tickets to see Civil War. And then we used those free tickets again, or we bought tickets to see some movie. I can't remember what the movie was now. What did we see? But the projector.
X-Men, maybe?
Is it X-Men? The projector stopped. Yeah, it was Apocalypse, maybe. It might have been Apocalypse.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
But the projector stopped, right? No, the power went out. The power went out. Yeah, so the power goes out during Apocalypse, right? So then we get more free tickets, which was great by the AMC folks. Thank you for those free tickets. So yeah, I still got a pocket full of free tickets that I'm planning to use for Doctor Strange. Because
very smart.
Yeah. Star Wars will be the first movie in a while that will actually get my cold cash. So Rogue One.
Yep. So anyway. Yeah, so Doctor Strange, I'll have to buy my own ticket, and it'll have to be no. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. Last year, there was like some trivia night in one of the dorm halls, and me and my friends made a team, and we won. And our winning question was, who plays Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original Star Wars? And so I was the only one able to answer that, which was shocking.
That is shocking.
And then but that's what won us the prize, and the prize was free movie tickets. And I haven't used it yet. So
there you go.
Use it to see Doctor Strange. Yeah. That's the way to do it.
I probably won't be going on opening night on Thursday night. I'll probably wait till Friday night. My hope is to see it in an IMAX because I hear visually it's stunning.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how it does because like I really heard a lot of people talking about it.
The reviews so far have been pretty positive, so it sounds like it's going to be a hit. Of course, seems like Marvel gets positive reviews no matter what. So
yeah, that's true.
But I'm polling for this movie. I like everyone involved in this film, so I hope it does well.
You have academic ties to the director, so
very, very loose academic ties. We went to the same school to get college together, university together, but years apart. Right?
Yeah,
9,
him and my dad were friends.
Yeah, they went to the same school, Biola University.
They were pals, kind of, or something.
Yeah.
So definitely interested to see how it goes. Doctor Strange is a cool character. I don't really know that much about him, but what I do know, I think
I was asked the other day what he does, and I was like, honestly, I just don't know. I don't read Doctor Strange. Haven't read him at all. I had a Doctor Strange cartoon animated film on my Netflix playlist for the longest time. Never got around to watching it. So yeah, I don't know. So I'll be pleasantly surprised.
I saw that animated film.
Yeah,
my dad watched that, and I remember liking it. I thought it was interesting origin story to Doctor Strange. So I mean, he just has magic powers. So it'll be very interesting to.
That's just what I'm worried about. Magic, I feel like is always hard to pull off on film.
Yeah,
like it's like, ooh, look, something magical is happening, sorcery-wise. Things are moving. Mystical. There's weird light coming from something, and he's straining, and something, powers are. It's like, that's very. I always feel like it's very hard to. Like that's what I didn't like about Suicide Squad was the whole mystical power part. Is like, okay, I don't know what the threat really is here. I'm just taking your word that it's something really big because she's got a light coming out of her and all this stuff is happening. So
doing all this movement,
right?
Yeah.
So it's like, so I'm very interested to see how they're gonna play that off in Doctor Strange because it's got.
I think
just holding your hand out and
Yeah, I think that in what was that movie? Civil War. I think Scarlet Witch, they did a really good job, because she has magic powers too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think that was a pretty good use. So we'll see if they're able to do the same thing with Doctor Strange, I guess.
Yeah, her magic had a physical weight to it. I felt like,
yeah, like it felt believable and real.
It's when it's really big. To me, it's when it's really big. Like, big. Like, that's when it kind of gets like, okay, it's big, it's magical, it's wow, but I don't know what that means. Like, it's like the Scarlet Witch stuff. She was having very small interactions with humans and stuff like that. I felt like you felt the implications of it all. Mm-hmm. So, and like the Harry Potter films, that's all magic, but again, the magic was more just the context of this in the story. It was really more the character development that made those films interesting. So I'm hoping that's kind of what they're doing with Doctor Strange too. So hope it's not all about the visuals.
We'll just have to see what happens. So.
Yep. So. Yeah. All right. Well, anything else?
Nothing I can think of.
All right. Well, I got to run because I got to get to the comic book store and pick up my this week's batch of comics and take off some comics from my pull list so I don't get charged next week for more things I don't want.
That's key.
Yes. I want them all. I just can't afford them all. So if you're listening, You can send checks of money to Geek Pull, and we will gladly accept. And we'll use it to buy comic books. Deal?
And they're comic book related things. That sounds like that seems fair.
Right. And we can talk about them, and you can listen to us talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Send us stuff if you want to review it. Email us. It's on our website.
Yep.
So
go to geekpull.com. PULL, like a poll list. So yeah. Okay. Well, until next time, we'll talk to you guys later. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Dax Matlock.
See you guys next time.
Goodbye.